It has been the most extraordinary day. A day which has seen, I've never seen so many white people in one place. It's an extraordinary story. There are people everywhere. There are crowds everywhere. We're back tomorrow night, 6:30. But until then, that was meant to be Brexit Day. We leave you with some images of the day it actually was and how we got here. That's Channel 4 News.
Yes, that was Channel 4 reporter Jon Snow saying that he had never seen so many white people in one place during the pro-Brexit rally. Now, obviously what he meant to say was that many working class people. But that is apparently what white people is in Jon Snow's mind. But it's very interesting how he went straight to white, isn't it? Very fucking interesting. I mean, like, I don't know what his excuse is. Let's see what the excuse was. You know, he made the controversial comments as he described Downing Street. You know, it's most extraordinary day. Yes, we know, and that's it. That's it. I mean, he copped a lot of heat for this because, understandably, like, John, what are you doing? Why are you making a comment about white people? Why would that even cross your fucking mind? Unless the culture in which you operate in Channel 4 happens to be saturated with identity politics. I mean, it would have been more accurate to call them working class, because if you'd really thought about it, you would have thought that, hang on a second, I saw the Remain marches, and man, they were white as you like. There's just a sea of white faces on the 23rd, people protesting that we're leaving the European Union, but they're white and middle class. Not the working class, is it? These are all the lovely middle class folks. But anyway, yes, people were quite angry about this. Like, I was waiting for one of the usual political commentators and news presenters to say something about the same protest being too white. Strangely, no comments about last weekend's protest being white. Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing in the country. It's like 85% white British. That most of the protests regarding Brexit happen to be involving white people. This is just mental. I don't know what's going on. Jon Snow, can you please explain your need to proclaim you've never seen so many white people in one place? Can Channel 4 News also explain why they allowed their lead anchor to incite, spelt wrong, but okay, racial divide on national television in their name? Good question. Julia Hartley-Brewer, this is unbelievably shocking from a national broadcaster, which of course for some reason is a bad thing. The white comment. I've never seen so many people in one place. This is the Glastonbury Festival that Jon Snow enjoyed in 2017. Yeah, I think you've seen way more white people in one place. I mean, look at this, but it's all white middle class. So you don't think of them as white people, you just think of them as people because they're part of your group. When it comes to the out group, which is the working classes of this country, which are still majority white, sorry that they're that. I mean, it's the crime that they're cursed with to have been born white and English, apparently, so that their betters on Channel 4 can just look down the nose and go, oh God, look at all of these white people. I've never seen so many white people in all my life, apart from all of the other examples where there are far more white people around. But don't worry, John. Fuck me. It's so infuriating watching identity politics just infest my country. And people are like, I can't believe Bolsonaro like fired 300 Marxists from the civil service. Man, when I'm the dictator of England, when I'm the king of Britain, I tell you what, so many Marxists are going to be cut from our institutions, they're not going to know what happened to them. Jon Snow was pointing out that one of the most ethnically diverse cities in the world, a pro-Brexit protest was majority white. If you don't live in London, you won't understand how rare and therefore newsworthy that is. Again, I refer you back to the Remain protests, which were also massively white. But I think that really, you have to think about it in this context. These people have travelled from all around the country. This is giving you a much more accurate representation of what the country actually looks like outside of the London bubble. Most of the country is still white, much to your chagrin. Much to Joe Biden's chagrin, I'm sure. Much to the chagrin of all of the self-loathing racial identitarians in our fucking elite classes. White people are indigenous to Europe. This is where we came from. I'm so sorry to tell you this. I am sorry that you live in a country that is geographically located in the place that white people were first evolved and first came into being in. I'm so sorry that that's the case for you. I know you must hate it. I don't know how you cope with being white on a daily basis. Again, one might say you lack the courage of your convictions. If you have a problem with so many white people being in the world, you could do something about at least one of them, couldn't you? But you won't. You'll just whine. And you say, hey, open the borders. Fucking hell. No one, I mean, people were pissed off on social media. And I can understand why, because it's just such an unnecessary comment. There is no need to say anything about anyone's race when it comes to these things. Absolutely none. Right? There's a chap who's he's from Africa from somewhere, but he immigrated like 10, 15 years ago. I had a chat with him, and he walks around. He's got these British sunglasses. He's got a suit of British flags, and he walks around with a bloody great "Leave means leave" pro-Brexit sign saying, "Look, I'm a citizen of this country. I want this country to be independent." And he gets shat on every time, every protest. I see him every protest, and he's constantly being shat on by Remainers. They're not called racist. Weird, isn't it? No one calls them racist when they're dressing down a black man who wants Britain to be independent. You know, I mean, he doesn't think that it's about race. He doesn't think that anything it's not even about xenophobia. It's nothing. It's about sovereignty. And it always has been. And you fucking racists at Channel 4 know that. You know that. It's despicable. Absolutely despicable. But yeah, so people are just generally pissed on Channel 4. And good. Just good. Just there is no need for him to have done this, which is why Channel 4 had to apologise. Because people were quite pissed off about it, and rightfully so. And we never got an answer to why he did it, right? They apologised and said he'd never seen many white people. The 71-year-old... See, this is the thing. He's 71. It's not like back in his youth that's how people spoke. People didn't go around talking about white people a lot on TV in, like 20, 30 years ago. I know because I used to watch TV. They never talked about it. You would never... It was so gauche. You would never bring up someone's race. What relevance has it got to anything that person is saying? But have you considered that you're white? Or have you considered you're Pakistani or you're black? Why would you say that? What difference does that make? I mean, honestly. Like, it's not an idea. Being a foreign race or a different race or whatever race is not an idea. You don't know what they think just because of the race that they are. But anyway, so Channel 4 said this was an unscripted observation at the very end of a long week of fast-moving Brexit developments. So the first thing that blubbed out of his mouth was, well, look at all these white people. Really? Come on. John has covered major events such as this over a long career, so we know that there's a false statement anyway. He's obviously seen more white people in one place, as Julia Hartley-Brewer proved. But this was a spontaneous comment reflecting his observation that in a London demonstration of that size, ethnic minorities seem to be significantly underrepresented. Well, that's only because the majority of London is now non-English. You know, the capital city of England, Britain, mostly not British at this point. So, okay, nothing to see here. It's just normal, isn't it? Isn't it? Must be. But yeah, so they seem significantly underrepresented. Well, there we go. Just goes to show you that this is something the rest of the country cares about. Not just London, you fucking self-centered solipsistic shits. It's not all about London. London's 8 million people out of 65 million. Where do you think the rest of us live? Where do you think we are? But we regret any offence caused by this comment. Yeah, I bet you do. I bet you bloody do. For Christ's sake, pull your heads out of your arses. The problem with politics at the moment is it's so London-centric. This is why we're saying we've got to do the Northern Tour. We go over to these places elsewhere that aren't London for once. And man, people appreciate it. People have been thrilled that we're coming to see them rather than making them come and see us, because a lot of them, again, are working class. Sorry, white, John. A lot of them are white, But a lot of them are working class, so they don't have loads of money to throw around. The train fare is expensive. Staying down is expensive. These things cost a lot of money, so it's nice when we can go to them, and they appreciate it. They tell us that they appreciate the fact that we come to them. But, they're white.